Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, and anyone who identifies otherwise. Perhaps you're an attack helicopter. Who am I to say you're not? Welcome. Thank you for joining me, where today I'm looking at a video that somebody suggested to me I should take a look at. Unbeknownst to the person who sent me the email saying you should look at this video, I actually have an appointment booked in my calendar to have a chill discussion with this individual. Calls himself VeganBazooka, coming up. I think it's next week sometime actually, so you'll all be looking forward to that, I'm sure. This is a bloke who has publicly said on more than one occasion that he is going to wreck and destroy me and teach me a lesson all about science and stuff, so this will be fascinating to see what kind of level he's actually operating on. He's doing a critique here of clearly a video done by Joey. And yeah, this will be fascinating. Let's see whether or not it's likely that VeganBazooka has the goods to destroy me and teach me a lesson in our upcoming chill discussion / debate on human nutritional requirements in some way. All right, Mr. VeganBazooka, wow us with your prowess, intelligence, skill set, and preparedness to remotely keep your footing in the ring with me, son. Off you go.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reacting to a video of Michael Greger responding to Jordan Peterson's meat-only carnivore diet. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Michael Greger, consider yourself lucky, because the things that he says, the nonsense that he spews constantly, is recognizable as nonsense to anybody with a brain, to anybody who can employ some basic common sense and reasoning. Let's see what he has to say about Jordan Peterson's carnivore diet.
Yeah, well, for starters, it's just a bit weird to be like...
Oh, also, challenge. If somebody is up for the challenge and the task, please, what I would like you to do is to give us a report at the end of this video on the number of times this individual says like.
Oh, anyone with a brain can tell that Michael Greger is lying about everything.
That's not what Joey just said at all. You have just misquoted him. You've just put words in his mouth. You are accusing him of saying something he did not say. He said anyone with half a brain, or words to that effect, is able to see straight through the nonsense and deception and disinformation promulgated by Michael Greger. He said nothing about lying. You said that.
Okay, well, Michael Greger has multiple books with...
Anybody can write a book. Science is done by scientists, which Michael Greger is not one of. He's also not a doctor, by the way, for your information, if you didn't know that. And it is published in the peer-reviewed literature after a process of peer review. That is how we litigate science, not by writing books wherein we give an ideologically based, theologically based opinion on something that we know nothing about, have no training in whatsoever. And in the case of Michael Greger, his training in human physiology is none. His training in human nutritional requirements is none. And his training in science, the scientific methodology, or the undertaking of practical science projects, the management of same, or the writing and publishing of those is none. Okay?
You know, I think one of them has at least 4,000, another one has at least 3,000, another one has at least 2,000 references in it.
Number of references does not establish a posit or a claim or a point. You can cite 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10,000 excremental pieces of pseudoscience that do not establish your posit, and that does not establish your posit. It's just junk. All you've got is a large pile of junk. Doesn't help. Okay, that is a worthless argument. So nil poir there.
So yeah. Oh yeah, anyone with a brain can just rock up and be like, well, that's clearly fake, you know.
But anyone that has a brain and the ability to use that brain to learn something about the scientific process, scientific discipline, how we establish cause and effect in science, and whether or not that exists in the field of human nutrition, and they will tell you that it does not. I've worked in that area myself for more than a quarter of a century as a publishing research scientist, senior lecturer, senior academic in the field, and consultant widely. Okay? I've trained more physicians than you've had hot feeds, VeganBazooka. Shall we move on?
No reading needed. Easy to debunk that one. Ooh, gotcha there, mate.
This clearly is the level that Mr. VeganBazooka is going to operate on. I think I can relax about being destroyed and taught a lesson about science, can't I, already?
Yeah. You know, so he's already...
Oh, fuck, mate, get on with it, honestly.
He's already wild on this one.
Right, so your opinion, which is worth absolutely nothing?
I'm not hopeful that he's going to say anything that of value, but I haven't seen the video yet, so let's see what he has to say.
There's a lot of fad diets going on right now. I know you didn't want to try to whack them all.
Let's
Yeah, organise your resources before you make your video, son.
just get it.
On each one of the diets. I just wanted to ask you just if you thought about approaching a few of the diets. One, which I know you've been asked about before, but I have to ask you, is the carnivore diet. You know, Dr. Jordan Peterson's on it, and I know...
He said unbelievable.
Go watch my Jordan Peterson debunk.
I don't think you're capable of debunking anybody. You do not strike me less than 2 minutes into your video as being remotely in possession of the skills that would be required to debunk anybody on anything. Sorry about that. That's just a fact.
If you're interested. Also the Michaela Peterson debunks that I've done.
Yeah, making a video and calling it a debunk doesn't mean you actually managed to debunk anybody on anything. It's just your opinion, remember? Which, again, let me remind you of the value of your opinion. Okay?
It's so unbelievable. It's so hard to fathom that people are eating the way humans are designed to eat, that we are eating an ancestral diet that closely...
Do you have any evidence that humans were designed?
Yes.
At all?
Yes. Natural selection is a form of design. Some genes are selected for, some genes are selected against. The very nature of reality itself and the fact that genes exist and that they do change over time in response to what happens to those genes in the environment in which they're placed, that is a form of design. Design does not denote or connotate necessarily intelligence of any kind or any kind of higher power. Science is also unable to debunk the existence of same, any more than it's able to infer that the same actually does exist. Once again, what you're doing here is putting words into Joey's mouth, claiming he has said something that he has not said. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. It's desperate. Why don't you debunk Joey using some evidence of some kind rather than your worthless opinion?
And then if you do, I'd love to see that.
Well, natural selection, it's a fact. There you go. That's a form of design. We're done. You lose. 0 point for you, 1 for me and Joey.
I don't believe in, I don't necessarily believe in...
Well, hang on. I don't necessarily believe in. Which is it, son? Fuck me. This is going to take all day when we have a debate, isn't it? Sorry, a chill discussion. This bloke can't even get a sentence out. He's so brain fogged, clearly. And so absolute... This guy is walking Dunning-Kruger, I think, here. Patently. Let me know what you think below in the comments under the video here. Does this guy have any hope at all of keeping his footing in the ring with me on any matter of intellectual discourse of any kind, do you think? Let me know.
The intelligent design...
He didn't say intelligent. You said intelligent. See how that's very, very different from what he said? He said design. You said intelligent design. They are not the same thing.
theory of the world, but, bit of a crazy thing. You're going up, you realize you're going up to like one of the biggest science buffs in nutrition and being like, what?
Okay, so what you've just said there, Vegan Bazooka, by way of inference there, is that I am assuming that what you mean by one of the biggest science buffs in nutrition, you're referring to not Dr. Michael Greger, in which case we know the level you're operating at. It's minus several million. Michael Greger has never, to my knowledge, published a single piece of scientific literature. Michael Greger has never seen the inside of a research laboratory, even let alone worked in one. Michael Greger is not a scientist any more than he is a doctor. Michael Greger qualified as a physician. He did not even begin his residency, and as such, to claim to be a doctor is disingenuous at best, outright dishonest at worst, and even if he was a bona fide physician, that would qualify him to speak on nutrition exactly not at all, because nutritionists receive training in nutrition. Physicians do not. Okay? What Michael Greger has produced is a bunch of ideologically, theologically based claptrap, drivel, anti-science and garbage. Anyone that's interested in actual debunks from the standpoint of actual scientific arguments against what somebody else has said can view my vast collection of debunks, actual debunks, of not Dr. Michael Greger, and that you will find that on my Odyssey channel. Unfortunately, such works are no longer acceptable to the powers that be at the fine folks there at YouTubia. As such, you will need to go to Odyssey platform to see those videos. Go and find those. They're a dime a dozen. There are many of them. I don't know how many times I've debunked Michael Greger absolutely on science without breaking a sweat. What is next?
Well, we were intelligently designed.
No, you said that, remember? Not him. Joey didn't say that. You did.
To eat only meat. Okay.
No, we were designed by natural selection pressures to eat almost exclusively meat. And I can give you the exact numbers at some point. If it comes up, I will.
So we've got science versus religion.
No, that's you putting words into Joey's mouth again. He never mentioned religion.
Mimics the way that ancient humans used to eat before the agricultural revolution. It is so shocking, isn't it?
Right, so that's the level of comeback we can expect from Vegan Bazooka during our chill discussion. Good. I'm really shaking in my boots. I think I might have to pull out of this because I'm going to get taught a lesson, aren't I, boys and girls? Again, though, do let me know what you think about the likelihood of that occurring under this video here. Carry on, though. I'm learning so much.
Yeah, so if you have any reason to believe that mimicking something that happened in ancient times is a good way to find what's healthy, I'd love to see that evidence.
Well, it's called natural selection pressures. That's what indicates why what we did in antiquity is likely to be the thing that would lead us to the best likelihood of health in current times, actually. Precisely because of the selection pressures that have thus moulded our organ systems, our bodies as a whole, our metabolic pathways, and everything about us, physiologically, sociologically, and in every other way conceivable. It's really straightforward to understand if you are remotely capable of putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with something like 4. Okay?
Crazy.
Him and his daughter feel a lot better. I think there's reasons for that.
Feel a lot better. Basically save their lives. It basically saved Michaela's life. Jordan Peterson, he can sleep better now, function better on less sleep. Also, his depression and anxiety are much better. It improved their lives in drastic ways. To say they feel better is a gross understatement.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's a total out-of-hand dismissal of something that this gentleman here knows nothing whatever about.
Well, not really. Like,
Yes, really.
have they posted any blood work? Have they?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? That's the level this clown is working at here. Wow. What possible information about someone's actual health status do you think remotely you are going to get from blood work, presumably taken on one occasion in a given individual under a given set of circumstances at that time? Are you stoned? You certainly appear like that might be within the realms of possibility, but that's for another day. Wow, bloods. Okay. All that shows us, Vegan Bazooka, is that you really, really are completely out of your depth here. Really, really completely out of your depth. The last place I worked academically was a university in the United Kingdom, and one of the courses that I was teaching into was the biomedical science course. I could tell you one or two things about blood work, son. I really could. Given that I'm a professor of health science and you are... Who are you again, by the way? That's not a surprise, though. Anyway, I am very much looking forward to being absolutely destroyed and being taught a lesson in our chill discussion coming up next week, I think it is. What's next?
You posted any objective metrics?
Objective metrics. Good, good. I'm presuming that you're going to wow us with some objective metrics during this clear and absolute debunking of Joey that you're attempting here. Let's see, shall we? Make your comment under the video now. Make your vote, boys and girls. Let me know underneath, do you think that Mr. Vegan Bazooka is going to produce any objective metrics at all to support any of the ideas that he wants to put forward in his opinion, which, just to remind you all in case you've forgotten, the value of which is, okay.
Like anything at all? Like that? No, they're just two people on the internet claiming to feel better. Like,
yeah, and there are tens and hundreds of thousands of others claiming the same thing. It's almost as if something's going on. Maybe you should check it out.
That's not even remotely. Like, in fact.
Ah, good. In fact, good. So now you're going to give us some facts because you've said in fact, which is a preface that would lead us to believe that you are about to produce some actual facts. I wonder what they'll be. Again, boys and girls, make your vote now. Is Mr. Vegan Bazooka going to provide any facts, in fact, or is he just saying in fact to try and give credence to what he's about to say, which is likely to be an opinion and therefore worth nothing? Vote now.
Just go watch my video debunking.
I couldn't have written that better myself if I had to script it. Well done, Mr. Vegan Bazooka. Nil point.
Some people swear by it. What do you think of what's happening there with the carnivore diet?
If you don't eat your fruits and vegetables, you might die. Good.
I just swear at him because he's an idiot. That's why.
Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah, that's right. You don't know, Vegan Bazooka. That's the first thing you've said that's remotely correct in this video. You don't know dick about fuck.
Have you read his books?
I have.
Like, he
Like,
has, you know, as I said, thousands of studies referenced. And
yeah, well, that, again, doesn't prove your point. Repeating the same failure to establish a point again only shows your destitution of any actual argument or any actual, what was the word? Objective metrics to support your posit in any way. Still waiting, by the way.
you're you're choosing to respond to a casual interview he does, and then
What are you doing, son? This is a YouTube video, a Vox Pop presentation. This is Joey's take, Joey's opinion on Michael Greger and his ideas that you should eat your fruits and vegetables and that you should cut your vas deferens so that you can't impregnate the woman. Okay. All right, so mocking people is not good. Is that what we're saying here, Mr. Vegan Bazooka? Keep that in mind.
dude, come on. You're not engaging with this like guy's actual work at all.
Neither are you, son. All you're doing is sitting there chuckling away to yourself, thinking that you're making some kind of point. I have engaged with Michael's material at some length, and I can tell you it's excremental, pustulous, ideologically driven claptrap with no scientific validity or veracity whatever. None. And I have a lot of experience in science, so I feel rather well qualified to speak on it. Just remind us again of your credentials, by the way, Mr. VeganBazooka, to speak about science or critique anyone, let alone someone like Joey, who is operating at a level vastly out of reach of what you could ever possibly hope to achieve.
So where's that it?
That's why
Why they seeing results?
so if you have
He speaks so incoherently.
You should listen to his audiobooks.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah.
And by the way, I VeganBazooka, do you think for some reason that you'd be a good gauge or a good assessor on who is incoherent? And if so, why is that, son? Why do you think that you would be a good gauge on who is incoherent and who isn't? Because, everyone's watching this video. They can see as well as I can. Let's move on.
I'd love to hear you make the argument that the audiobooks are incoherent.
Well, coherence and validity, veracity, correctness and utility in the universe are not necessarily the same thing. An audiobook is an opportunity for someone to read predetermined scripts out and say what is in front of them, and thus it can be coherent, but coherence doesn't indicate correctness, validity, veracity or utility at all. Talk to Michael Greger, not Dr. Michael Greger, without a script in place, as this individual is doing here. And that's what you get. Okay? It's the brain fog. It's the lack of ability to engage the neurons. It's the vast destitution, the vast and patent destitution of nutrition. It's because he is a priest of the High Church of Anorexia Vegana. These are the ramifications of long-term abuse of the human body by means of malnutrition, which is what veganism patently, absolutely is.
He seems very, very mentally ill. Very disturbing stuff to watch him.
Okay. Jumping straight to the ad homs.
No, that's not an ad hom. That's an observation. That's an opinion. Obviously, Joey is not a psychiatrist and is not able to diagnose mental illness. He's saying that's how Michael Greger presents in his estimation. That's not an attack on Michael Greger as a person. Ad hom means an attack on the person as a person. Okay, you don't even understand what ad hom means. And now for the next minute, I suspect you're going to repeat the term ad hom as many times as you possibly can to make sure everybody understands that you know the word ad hom exists, even though the fact is that you've used it completely inappropriately, showing everyone who does understand what an ad hom is that you don't. Okay, good work.
You haven't made a solid point in this whole video.
Have you, son? On anything? No.
Yeah, it's only been 2 minutes, but geez, like you're jumping straight to the ad homs.
No, still.
Oh, it's like people who go gluten-free feel better.
It's not like that at all.
Good comeback. Awesome. I'm really, really starting to get very, very concerned that this VeganBazooka clown is really going to clean me up. He's going to teach me a lesson like he said he was going to. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, so you don't feel better?
Yes, you do feel vastly better on a carnivore diet. Well, everyone that I've ever heard talk about their experience of it has experienced that, as have I. Problems are very few and far between that people experience, even related to, let alone as a cause and effect thing from eating a carnivore-only diet. It's a very, very clear, very persuasive narrative. Unlike veganism, which is anything but. Because 84% of people that ever try veganism quit. They do that within 5 years, and 90% of those people cite catastrophic health failure born of destitution of nutrient as their reason. Okay? That doesn't happen in our community because the carnivore diet absolutely does contain everything that a human being needs, and none of the things they don't.
You had a wheat allergy, and all of a sudden you go gluten-free and you feel better. It wasn't the gluten, it was because you had a wheat allergy. Or, one of the reasons people feel bad...
So now Michael Greger is suggesting that gluten allergies don't exist? They do, Michael. It's a well-known, well-trodden pathway here. This is understood by anyone who actually understands human physiology.
About 1 in 200 people who stop eating meat.
Can't even put a sentence together.
Exactly, yeah. It's the brain fog, Joey. It's incredible.
Like this is an ad hominem
Say ad hom again, though.
attack.
No, it isn't. It's not. It's an observation on what is right in front of us. That's not an ad hominem attack, Mr. VeganBazooka. Wrong again. Wow, you're really not doing your credibility any good here, son. Are you sure you want to try and debate me? I'm open to it still. It's in the calendar. It's booked. Are you up for it? Are you really anywhere near the level that you're going to get anywhere near me? I think you're kidding yourself. I think you're a walking case of Dunning-Kruger. I don't want to embarrass you, son, but I will. I'll do it politely. There's no need not to. But I will absolutely tear you to pieces. Anyway, I'll look forward to it.
I guarantee you're not going to debunk anything he says.
Well, touche, son. Touche.
Formulate his thoughts properly. Okay, what he's trying to say is that when you go carnivore, the reason you feel better is because you're cutting out the one issue that you had before. Like if you're allergic to broccoli and you go carnivore, then you're not getting the broccoli anymore. Therefore, you're feeling better, not because of the meat, but because of the absence of the broccoli. And it's just so ridiculous because plants as a whole are doing harm to the body.
Okay, I'd love to see evidence of that.
I'd love to see evidence otherwise. Unfortunately, there is no evidence either way on cause and effect for hard health outcomes in free-living human beings, or indeed in laboratory situations either. We have reductionist stuff which can add an inference one way or another on various issues. That's all we've got. Human nutrition science does not exist. What is in the literature in that area is a ring-fenced area which is basically ideological, theological, and underpinned by the bottom right-hand corners of a number of self-claimed authorities, frankly. We'll get to that if we actually ever get anywhere near any science in this little presentation, though.
Just every single fruit, vegetable, nut, seed, grain, legume, berry, spice, herb, they're all harmful.
Well, they all contain problematic substances that are unnecessary in the human diet and are likely to predispose a person to a problematic reaction of some kind at some level. Yes. Every single piece of plant material that exists is likely to cause a problem, precisely because natural selection pressure has designed human beings to gain their entire nutrition from the flesh and fat of animals. Okay?
Yep. All right. I'm sure you're going to bust out the meta-analyses on that one.
Again, that shows us the level that you're working at here. You are clearly of the opinion that a meta-analysis proves a point somehow. No. A meta-analysis is a synthesis of a bunch of studies, and if all of those studies are of low quality, pseudoscientific quality, ideologic quality, theologic quality, then what you have at the end of the day is a whole bunch of small bags of shit which are all piled up together and actually are nothing but a huge pile of shit. The shit is of the same quality, whether it's a small amount of shit or a huge pile of shit. It's a pile of shit. And that's what meta-analyses in so-called human nutrition, so-called science are. I'm well qualified to speak on the subject, as I say, more than 26 years actually working in that area as a publishing research scientist. Okay? It's a pile of shit. Sorry about that. Bro.
The anti-nutrients that are in plants.
The anti-nutrients.
Yes, the anti-nutrients.
I wonder
among other things.
If I managed to get a debate with this kid, which I challenge you to a debate.
Yeah, I'd take it if I was you, Joey. I'd absolutely, because this person is someone that you will deal with a flick of your wrist. You know that. I know that. Everybody watching this video that isn't a veganerized turd knows that too. He hasn't got a hope in hell of keeping his footing with you any more than he would have with an intellectually challenged goldfish, frankly. I'd take the debate, Joey. It'll be good for you.
Dude. And
can we stop with that clicky noise too? That's really fucking annoying.
Nutrients. Are you going to talk about the lectins?
Maybe he would. Are you going to talk to us about lectins at all in any way that's meaningful? Are you going to bring any of this objective metrics that you're so interested in? Are you going to bring us a meta-analysis? Analysis. Goodness me. My bad.
That just like in uncooked beans, but not in cooked beans?
Lectins still exist in cooked foods, just to a less degree.
You're going to bring up the oxalates?
He might. Are you?
In spinach that are...
Oxalates exist in things other than spinach too, by the way. Did you know that?
No. Pretty sure every high oxalate green is associated with lower incidence of kidney stones.
No.
Which is probably what your argument's going to be. Oh, it causes kidney stones. I wonder why the evidence points in the opposite direction.
It doesn't. You're making shit up, and you haven't produced any evidence. So don't say evidence without producing any. There isn't any evidence to support that ridiculous claim. It's just nonsense. What's next?
Man, I forget the anti-nutrients because they're such bullshit.
Okay, so your opinion again. Good. Which is worth what, by the way, boys and girls? Let's all say it together. Fuck all. What's next?
This other one is probably going to, just name an anti-nutrient that you...
Well, you've just named a couple. Lectins and oxalate. They have effect. Yep, they exist in plant materials variously. They are problematic to some level. What's your point? No point at all.
I think it's in plants, and I'll be happy to debunk it for you.
No, you won't, because you're incapable of debunking anything at all, clearly. You're totally out of your depth here, Mr. VeganBazooka. Sorry about that. That's not an ad hom. That's just an observation of the facts. You are completely out of your depth. What's next?
Are going to wreak havoc on people's bodies, especially when they have, say, a leaky gut or some sort of autoimmune problem. So it's much bigger than just a single food that you're cutting out that's causing all the benefit. What he's proposing is completely ridiculous.
Correct, it is.
Okay, name one autoimmune problem that isn't improved by giving up meat.
Name one that is, and show me a cause and effect statement derived from experimental empirical science to support that ridiculous claim. You've just made a positive claim. You are now responsible to back that up with some objective metric evidence. We won't wait, because you and I both know, Joey, and this guy would find out if he was actually going to front up for the debate he's got booked with me, that no such evidence exists. And if he tried to bring any, I'd be happy to debunk it for him. What's next?
Name one autoimmune problem that isn't caused by meat.
There is no immune dysfunction that is caused by eating meat. That is absolutely, totally fucking ridiculous. Show me a study that proves that. It does not exist. Nonsense. What's next?
I challenge you.
I challenge you. You've accepted. It's in the diary. I'm looking forward to it. Wow. I'm looking forward to the schooling I'm going to get, this destruction that I'm going to experience at the hands of this vastly superior intellect here, Mr. VeganBazooka. We're all looking forward to the comedy. We can't wait.
Nonsense.
There are going to be literally thousands of people laughing at your expense, buddy. And that's your own doing. Okay, that is your fault. See you then.
These negative consequences, they have a soy allergy. They never knew that. It's about 1 in 200, 250 people have a soybean allergy. You don't even know it because who eats a soybean unless all of a sudden you start eating a veggie burger or something, but all of a sudden they stop eating meat and they feel terrible. Oh, you had an undiagnosed soy allergy.
Absolutely not. You stop eating meat, you feel terrible because you're not getting the essential nutrients that your body needs to function.
Correct.
You're not getting what your body needs. That's why you feel terrible. When you eat plants, you're not getting the necessary proteins and nutrients that are only found in meat.
Name one essential protein or essential nutrients that's only found in meat.
Well, vitamin B12. How about retinol? There's 2. That's twice as many as you asked for. Just off the top of my head, really quickly, there's actually a bit of a laundry list of things that are absolutely missing from plant materials. The diet is absolutely destitute. Perhaps you'd like to go and have a look at a video put together by a well-known vegan by the name of Blake, who has a doctoral level qualification in human nutrition, and he's outlining all the hugely, vastly destitute areas of the vegan diet by way of suggesting what it is that vegans absolutely have to supplement in order just to remain alive, but they still don't do well. I mean, have a look around without mentioning any particular individual person's appearance in any way, shape or form. Have a look around and see the state, the clear apparent state of ill health of the vegan population. It is absolutely inescapable. Just do your own work on this, boys and girls. Do your own research on this. You know, if you think I'm kidding myself, you can't be helped. I'm sorry. Go and check it out. What is next?
I challenge you. You won't be able to do it because I already researched it.
Oh, because I already researched it. Good. I hope that you're going to do better than that when you come to sit down with me, sunshine. I hope you do a lot better than that, because that's just not going to cut it remotely at all, is it? No.
Like, why would you make this video?
Why would you make your video, son? Why would you imagine yourself to be remotely competent to speak on any aspect of science or human physiology or human nutrition at all? Why? Why are you wasting our time here with your nonsense?
It's like, there's not enough protein in plants. Like, okay. I wonder why vegans have higher amounts of protein in their body than non-vegans.
They don't. Nonsense. Again, cast your eye around the vegan community. It's absolutely inescapable. One of the vast destitutions in the vegan community is clearly, unambiguously, patently protein. Collagen largely is a thing that is destitute, which seems to abandon vegans even before some of the other more problematic issues. It's written all over the vegans. Go and have a look for yourselves, boys and girls. See if I'm wrong.
I don't know. Maybe it's because when you eat meat, it causes an immune response that causes you to
All food causes an immune response acutely.
Wastefully used protein?
Wastefully used protein. Yes, people who eat meat use it wastefully in building muscle mass and collagen and enzymes and body structures and things. Very wasteful of us. Unlike vegans who don't waste anything. Well, they do. they themselves waste. Slowly, sometimes less than slowly, progressively. Again, cast your eye around. Let's do a survey, shall we? And see what it is that there is to see there in that particular community.
Just to try and like put a damper on the inflammation caused by eating meat.
Caused by eating meat. Good. Show me a cause and effect study that shows that meat causes anything to occur, hard health outcomes wise in human beings over any period of time. We won't wait because we all know that no such study exists at all.
Could be. I don't know.
That's right. You don't know. You don't know dick about fuck.
Exclusive to me. So this is not hard to understand.
Get rid of the soybeans all of a sudden, then you can, get the full benefits of not eating meat. But it wasn't the lack of meat that did it.
Of course it was the lack of meat that did it. Obviously it was it's funny.
And so if you have a variety of food intolerances, so you cut down, so if
eat fruits and vegetables.
If instead of a carnivore diet, you had a sweet potato diet where all you did was eat sweet potatoes, presumably you'd feel just as good because you're cutting out.
Presumably you feel just as good on a sweet potato only diet in comparison to a carnivore diet.
If anyone wants to argue that a meat-only diet would even be in the same universe of health level as a sweet potato-only diet, I will obliterate every single thing you have to say.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that because I think we'll make that the topic of our discussion that you are already booked in to have with me next week live on camera on my channel. I've had more than enough. I've seen more than enough to know what level you're operating on. And frankly, son, if you've got any sense, you will pull out. I hope you don't. I hope you do front up for this because I am going to make you the laughing stock of the internet. A sweet potato only diet is vastly better than a meat only diet, says this buffoon here. And that's not an ad hom, that's an observation of fact. You are a buffoon, son. And you think you will obliterate anything I have to say on that? Well, I can't wait to see that. All right, there we go. See you next week, whatever day it was that we're booked in for that. I think it's the 18th US, the 19th. No, that's not right. Let me get the date. Hang on, I'll be back in a tick. All right, sorry about that. There it is, boys and girls. It's the 29th New Zealand and Australian date of August, that is, in the afternoon, middle of the afternoon. So it's late afternoon, early evening stateside on the 28th of August is when that's booked for. A live discussion between VeganBazooka and myself, wherein he will obliterate everything I have to say around whether or not a meat-only diet is vastly superior to a diet based on solely sweet potato. Good. Looking forward to it a lot, and I'm really looking forward to the lesson that I'm going to be taught by this clear, intellectual giant name of VeganBazooka. Wow, can't wait for that. The rest of you, yep. There's plenty of entertainment between now and then that you can look forward to, of course. So do keep your eye on the channel because there's a lot of things going on. There really is. Don't let the door hit you in the 6 on the way out. You know the drill. And music 3, 2, 1.